All right, shalom, and welcome to another Bible study that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. My name is Esaac ben Israel, and I'm the elder priest of the United Congregation of Israel. And I'm joined here with one of our fellow priests, Priest Mikael. Shalom, my brother.
Shalom, elder.
All right, so we're going to get into a few questions. First of all, I hope, everybody got the right prayers that they needed to say, and if not, I pray that the angel interceded and rearranged that prayer so that the right things could be said unto our Father who art in heaven when it was time for our appearances. So getting into this first one, which is more of a statement. Can you please put us on the email list to receive trivia questions and other emails that you send out to members on some occasions? And they listed their Cash App names so that I would know who they are. We would also love to come and fellowship with you all when you are available for us to come, which may be in a little while, and ask for those instructions. Also said that we read on the UCI website on what to expect and how to conduct ourselves, especially attire and everything. All right, so I want to go first in just dealing with that. 1 Samuel chapter 2. First Samuel chapter 2, and I want you to start at verse 27.
And there came a man of Elohim unto Eli, and said unto him, Thus says Yahweh, Did I plainly appear unto the house of your father, when they were in Egypt, in Pharaoh's house?
So the first thing we have to understand is that when Yahweh does, bring forth anything to the children of Israel, when he gives us understanding, we are held responsible for that understanding. When he uplifts us and places us in a position to deal with some things, there is weight connected to that. A lot of times we want to have power without the responsibility that goes along with that power. We want one side of that, and having one side of that is always going to be a problem. We will walk in the power, but then shy away when it comes down to the responsibility. 1 minute you can find us when it's a part of announcing the leaders. When it's time to do work, all of a sudden we hiding in the corner. Wait a minute. Those two things go hand in hand. Now, when we passing out hot biscuits, we don't have to look for nobody. Now, when we're handing out duties, all right, now who gonna sweep this and who gonna hold the other end of this board? All of a sudden, you find somebody under the picnic table. Where you come from? How you get under this picnic table? Oh, okay, I see we wasn't passing out biscuits. So it seems to be a difference there, and we got to understand that this weight of responsibility goes all the way down. You're going to find that in Yahshua. You're going to find that in the priests and prophets even before him. You're going to find that constant. And they're going to have to deal with that, meaning that they're going to have to be responsible for some things that they allow. So you can't just go about allowing everything just to make something appear fantastical. You have to make sure that, all right, one of the things that we look for says, okay, I went to the UCI website and I read on attire and everything. That may seem like a small line to you, but for somebody who has responsibility, that was a very hefty statement. See? So before I allow something that may get myself in trouble, I need to know, okay, there's responsibility that goes along with what I have the ability to do. So when I hear something, there's certain people that say, man, we've asked and priests didn't even, hear our acknowledge our request. I heard something in the email that wasn't right. See,
Folks say, I've been going all over town. I've been looking for places. I've been going here and there.
reject. Not answering that one. No. You go shop somewhere. And then, I'm somewhere when I'm not happy, I ain't looking for nobody else's problem. I got enough problems of our own. All right? I don't need to shop through nobody else's problems. If you got you somewhere else and they got some problems and you're not sure if that's where you want to be or you want to please stay where you is, where you at, and we just going to be. All right? No, we're not shopping for nobody. I don't go and shop through the big lots clearance. All right? I don't go through half that stuff broke. You understand? I used to think when I went to big lots, I said, damn, these are really good prices.
Yeah.
Then I realized that the tripod didn't have but 2 legs.
Yeah.
I said, damn, that's a bipod. That is not a tripod. That is a bipod, and it keeps leaning. It keeps leaning because you realize something. You need that other leg.
Yeah.
You need that other leg. So I'm not trying to shop through other people's problems. You got to work through that, and when you work through that, and if you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go forward, and I'm gonna put my all in going forward, then you send us, that communication, and then we'll see what we can do from there. All right, keep reading, bro.
And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of your father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? Wherefore kick you at my sacrifice and at my offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honors your sons above me, to make yourself fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people.
Now, don't think that this just, goes above or dealing with the sons. This goes with anything. Anything that you put above Yahweh, he gonna come and deal with you about it. I don't care if it's your sons. I don't care if it's your wives. I don't care if it's your husbands. I don't care what. If it's your car. Because, we got folks that'll crash out for anything. You didn't plug that close to that Batman wagon. You got folks that now they was ready to worship and serve until somebody looked like they got too close to the beamer.
Folk change, man. I changed, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, you know what? You said something one time when we were talking. Sometimes, we've heard the story about the Sunday Christian. And, you find out when you see people during the week, you got Sabbath day Hebrew. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are Hebrew as can be on the Sabbath. Mm-hmm. But they just a regular old knuckle come Tuesday.
Yep.
I mean, a regular old knuckle. Yep. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Now, what we got to try to get enough word in us that at least start being a Wednesday Hebrew. Maybe eventually, maybe some of it will last throughout the week. So maybe you're Sabbath day Hebrew on the first year. Maybe the second year you get to be a Monday Hebrew, then a Tuesday Hebrew. Sooner or later you should be a Hebrew the whole week, and I'll be doggone you fell right back into the Sabbath. Now you're doing it. All right? Now, it might take a minute for you to get through the whole week. But you got to start somewhere, and if we years later and we still on the same situation, then we got a problem and we're not growing, and that's an issue there. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Wherefore Yahweh Elohim of Israel said, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father should walk before me forever. But now, Yahweh says, be it far from me. For them that honors me, I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed.
Now, this is the whole weight of everything. Be it far from me. For them that honor me will I honor. Okay, one of the things even in this email, they said, look, this is our Cash App tag what we donate to the congregation. Now, we put our stuff out. You don't have to pay to get it. But I tell you what he says, I will honor them that honor me. So that there's certain things that people not putting in their communication and they can't understand what's happening. They wanted to make sure, okay, that you recognize, that hey, I ain't got a lot of money, but hey, I put a little something in to support what it is I believe in. All right, I will honor those that honor me. So says Yahweh. So you have to understand that our thought process don't come from what we think, feel, and believe. See, the more you read the book, it starts affecting how you think. And when people are not spending time with it, this is why their thoughts operate the way they operate. And then when you're dealing with somebody intimately who resides in the flesh, they think all your thought processes are strange. Because none of theirs are being affected by this word. So then when you say something,
Somebody say, you know what, you don't even think right.
right, I don't. I think left. I think like my daddy. See, my daddy don't think right. He think left. See, he said, no. No, this is how this is supposed to work. So as you start spending time with the word, and if anybody is around you and starts spending time with the word, then they understand, okay, wait a minute. Now I understand why they thought like that. Now I understand that this is where their thought automatically went. But if you don't spend any time with that, you're not going to understand that. And we keep trying to force relationships with individuals who can't understand how we think. And there's a reason why they can't understand why we think. Go ahead.
And we had from a story that you have told me. I don't know the individual. We had an individual come here, and you told them that we don't sell those pamphlets and things, and they offered you money for them. And again, you told them we don't sell that is free. But then they thought they can offer up those things. I mean, offer up money for them, and then turn around and then use those same pamphlets or things in a different way to make money.
Right. Sometimes when things come to you, you don't understand why. Right on the wall, it says free literature. Mm-hmm. Now, there's something wrong when somebody said, here's the money for the free literature. Mm-hmm. I said, now, so you look like you're intelligent. You know what I'm saying? You look like you've been to college. What does free mean to you? Why are you offering me money for that which I have already posted on the wall is free? But because they were going to take those things and use them to start their own congregation, they already knew they were going to do something different with it. But so to make themselves feel justified in their actions, then they offered money for what was free. Mm-hmm. See? So then you start to look, okay, now the deception makes sense.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 31. Behold, the days come that I will cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, that there shall not be an old man in your house.
All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 26. So Yahweh says, I'm going to honor them that honor me. What does that mean? You have to understand that he has already honored Eli. But once Eli did not honor him, he took his honor back. A lot of times, we'll come into the word, but at the same time, we have that thought process from Sunday morning, once saved, always saved. So we think that we still saved no matter what we do. We still think that, we got some kind of inside track with Yahweh. No, we're talking about the high priest, the head priest, the man in charge. Once he made some bad decisions, Yahweh took his honor back. He's not just going to give you his honor and let you operate in your own kind of way with his honor. That ain't going to work. He gives you his honor for a reason. Now, what are you going to do with it? And he going to clearly figure out that you was the first in the biscuit line and last in the nail line. He going to figure that out. He gonna think, he say, well, look, you know what? I ain't seen what's your name now. Now, when we had those biscuits, I realized he been in that line twice.
Twice.
He been in line twice. He got the garlic butter biscuit. You know, he got that butter biscuit. You know what I'm saying? He got each variation. But when we handed out those boards, you know, I didn't see him damn time.
Not one. Yeah.
Huh, that's peculiar. That's mighty peculiar. Right, okay. Now, with power comes responsibility. All right. Matthew chapter 26, let's start at verse 17.
And now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came unto Yahshua, saying unto him, Where will you that we prepare for you to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The master says, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.
Wait a minute. So Yahshua didn't keep the Passover with everybody. See, a lot of times people want to be, you know, they come and they say, you know, hey, I want to be a part of this. No. He kept the Passover with his disciples. He didn't just go out and ask anybody, you know, well, you Hebrew. You know what? Do you have a fringe? I tell you what, put the fringe on and come on in here and grab a piece of the lamb. That's not what he said. He said he's going to keep the Passover with his disciples. Wait a minute now, go back to what his father said. I will honor those that honor me. Wait a minute, how do you honor Yahweh? Now, there's a lot of people, in certain events, you're going to find people show up. All right, you got people that show up on graduation, Easter, and funerals. All right, so what happened in between any of those things? Now, are we supposed to celebrate some of these events where people show up? Wait a minute, the honor comes in between some of those big events. Where were you and where was your involvement in between the big event? You got folks that'll show up at a graduation for a kid and ain't seen that kid in 12 years. They didn't see the kid at kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, some last semester of the 12th. Now they the ones hollering at the graduation. Ah! If you don't shut up. If you don't shut your mouth. Right. That my boy, shut up. Okay. But it's a congratulatory event now. Okay. Go ahead.
And the disciples did as Yahshua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now, when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12.
And the disciples did as Yahshua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Hey, they didn't just go in there and kick back. A lot of times, folks say, I want to come and keep the Passover with you. Now, let me know what time y'all start. So, all right, we're going to start at 9. They get here at 9:15. Now, why is that? Because they don't want to get made ready.
Right.
Wait a minute. See, he said, I'm going to keep the Passover with my disciples. The disciples were there early. You don't think they got there at the time Passover started, do you? He said they had to make it ready. Oh, they working. They didn't invite people to just hang around and kick up when you see that bottom of their feet. When you see the bottom of them foots, as my grandmama was saying, boy, if you don't put your foots down. So grandmama had his feet. She said 2 of them, ain't it? But in his foots. I've been educated. Thank you, Grandma. They didn't come. They didn't come to work. They came to enjoy the festivities. But those disciples are working. They made ready. Okay, go ahead.
They think Yahshua made ready. They think he just did it by himself.
Hey, I don't think. See, this is how leaders earn their position to lead, because they are making ready for someone else. See, Yahshua was the minister to Moshe. Then afterwards, he becomes the next leader. How does he learn how to lead? By learning how to serve. That's the problem with self-taught individuals. They ready to lead, but they ain't learned how to serve. Which then in turn makes them horrible leaders. How you gonna tell that man what he ain't doing because you ain't never done it? You gonna tell him he ain't serving right? How you know? How you know he ain't serving right? Oh, you ain't never done it. So you don't know if he's doing it right or not. Oh, okay. See, it's a problem when people just jump up the ladder, because they uncle own the company. So they got promoted, but the first sign of trouble in the company, they panicking. Why? Because they didn't work their way up the ladder. They don't know any of those other places behind them. They don't know how to do any of that. They just got placed where they are. That's the problem. We don't understand that our Elohim is trying to do us a favor, saying, all right, now go work over here. Okay, now go do this. Now we get mad.
That's not even what I want to do. I don't even want, maybe you didn't hear my prayers. I prayed real slow. I said, this is what I want right here. And then I drew a little picture and I said, Yahweh, right here. And what you do? You give me a job way over there.
It's like, I know what I'm doing. You're going to learn this, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn this. Now you're going to be really qualified to do that thing. See, we just want a position that we ain't qualified for. But we don't know we ain't qualified. We all think we qualified. Mm-hmm. We put together our resume, and on that resume, I'll tell you, we double now.
Yeah.
We double now. Okay. But Yahweh know how to read through fluff. When you look at your interview eyes and say you've been doing this 10 years. Yeah, that's 2. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's 2. That's 2. He been doing that too. Okay. Oh, say you're an expert in such and such? Yeah, okay. So he read it on the internet last night.
Right,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he know how to read through that fluff. That stuff's not real. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Mm-hmm. And they were exceedingly sorrowful.
Now, wait a minute. Now, he ain't got nothing but a small group of people in there. He didn't go and invite any of like all these people that he done miracles for. He just got a small group. And in the small group, one gonna betray him. The ratio ain't good. If you got a small group and one of them is a betrayer, go ahead.
And began every one of them to say unto him, Adonai, is it I? And he answered and said, he that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me.
So, one of the things we want to partake in some of the festivities. And a lot of times we're ready to be leaders and have responsibility. But understand with these responsibilities comes some trouble. He that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. We don't think about that as a, job duty when we ask for certain things. We'll talk about the good parts of the job. This job pays such and such. It's what everybody say whenever they get a job. This job paid this much. Right. What are you going to have to do for that job? See, it took me a little minute to figure out all money wasn't good money. All money wasn't good money. If folks offer me some big money, you do such and such. All right, what? Let me get a little detail about the job. No. Now, reject. Not taking that one. Now, the money was fine. It was the other stuff that was in there that was a problem. And once I started examining the other stuff, no. This is not something that I want to be a part of. Now, Yahweh know that that's us, by nature. So when he offer you a job, he not going to tell you the bad stuff either. Mm-hmm. he going to tell you the front part. You're going to be my servant. That is, he going to do it. Now, you're going to figure out the other part connected to that a little bit later. You already had a shovel in your hand by the time you figure that out, though. Go ahead.
The Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Mm-hmm. Then Yehudas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I?
The betrayer don't even know that he is a betrayer. Betrayal is so tricky that it even betrays the betrayer. The betrayer actually thinks that what he's doing is not that bad. He actually asked the question, is it me? Go ahead.
You know, Elder, when you look at this, and it says, he who dips his hand in the bowl is the one who betrayed me. You know, all of them dip their hand in the bowl, but it's different levels. But it's different levels of betrayal. Mm-hmm. Those Cephas, he said that not so Adonai and cut off the man's ear and all this. He had to tell Cephas, hey, calm down, put your sword away.
And then at some point he got scared and ran off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a level of betrayal,
right.
But it wasn't like this one.
Right. So you can see his levels, and all of them ran. Like you
sure
said.
Did.
All of them ran. But Cephas came back, and you see it's levels to the betrayal, because Yehudas Iscariot, that betrayal, it was no coming back from that.
Right. And you when you look at it, you know, like it said, likewise, all of them said, we will not leave you. Every last one of them left.
Yep.
But see, that's something that we have to consider. Because see, we have another question later on, and we're going to have to go back to that point right there. Okay? Because sometimes, you know, it weighs on us, and we think that, okay, we have to have this perfect record with Elohim. Show me somebody who 52-0. The only way you're going to be 52-0 is if you Floyd Mayweather and you can pick the fights. But Yahweh, you ain't going to pick the fight. You ain't going to even know. You ain't going to be able to train for the fight. He going to be training you for the fight, and you ain't going to even know it. You going to be in the middle of the fight before you realize, this is what I was training for. You ain't going to get no poster of the fighter to get ready. That's not how he operates. So we're not going to get that opportunity. You're going to realize as you're going through some things, then something happens. Now you say, oh, okay. That's why he made me do that. Go ahead.
The end of verse 25. He said unto him, you have said. And as they were eating, Yahshua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink you all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many of the remissions of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
And even this here was confusing. Verse 28, for this is my blood of the New Testament. Before he explained that, he said, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no part in me. And he purposely did not explain it. He wanted to see who he could offend. And what we want to do is try to find the most unoffensive doctrine we can possibly find, and somehow still think we're going to be changed and made better. Why was he purposely trying to offend them? Why would you say something like, they have dietary laws. Okay, strict dietary law. And then he turned around and said, eat my flesh and drink my blood. What? You told us that blood had to be poured on the ground, that you don't eat even the animal with the blood. This is what the law said. How you going to say something contradictory to the law? Because he wants to see if you're going to sit there even when you don't understand. Then here he explains it. Don't get it twisted. They didn't understand either. See, we think because they were close to him and they were disciples that they understood all of his sayings. No, read the book. It's some of those sayings that they didn't understand until afterward. So, was he taunting Judas? If there were sayings that they didn't understand, was he throwing out certain things to make Judas feel justified in betraying him? They didn't understand either now. Consider.
And man, come on, man. I thought he was all that. But look at me. Y'all come on, man. Give me 30 pieces of silver. I'm going to deliver him. Man, dude over there talking about eat his flesh and drink his blood, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all come over there by the big tree, man. I'm going to show you. Whoever I hug and kiss, I'm going to dap him up. That's him. Right. Was he taunting him? Because understand now, he says, is it I? He don't believe that he's the betrayer. How does he get convinced? What things does Yahshua say along the way cause the opening for the adversary to slip in? Because all it takes is one thing for us to be mad at something, and we completely change everything that we knew to be true before that day. All it takes is one thing. Go ahead, brother.
And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Yahshua unto them, all you shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad.
Now, there's something that this is leading us right into something else. First of all of you shall be offended because of me this night. One of the things when he says he's going to keep the Passover with his disciples. Now, when we get right down to the nitty gritty, how many people are going to be offended? They said, wait a minute, man, everybody ain't going to be able to deal with it. They said, well, you want as many people as you can possibly get? Because when the rubber hit the road, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to get offended. Yahshua, we don't even see the grace in this part. He says, show me to your house where I will keep the Passover with my disciples. Well, what happened when this turmoil happened? If those people not at least some kind of way grounded, they're going to lose their salvation. They're not just going to have a problem that night. See, we read and we say, you say all of them, were offended in him and they fled. Yeah, they fled that night. But they didn't lose their salvation. Let me tell you something. When you deal with somebody who's weak inside, they run like forest. They run forest. They don't never stop. You know what I'm saying? They start running. In Georgia, you look up there in Louisiana. Where you going? They run forest. They ain't never stop. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure who you dealing with right now. If they weak in spirit, they ain't never gonna stop running. There are people who showed up in the congregation when my elder was alive, right after my elder passed, and they saw some events that happened. Some of the people never walked in the Word again. They came in on a bad day. Bad day. One bad day. But, we can all say, man, that was a bad day. Yeah, but that was their first day. Their first day was the worst day. And some of them I never seen again. That was a really, really bad first day. You don't know sometimes what Yahshua is protecting somebody from. Say, no, not yet. They're not strong enough to deal with what they're going to witness. So give that a minute. All right, I got one here. And with that being said, I'm going to send that information to you, Bradley family. Thank you for that email. Go ahead, brother. You got something?
I had something, but it was from the beginning of how I started. I didn't want to interrupt you because you was on a roll. So in the last week and a half or so, I done had three people, two family members and one roommate that's asking me about, can I get some information? Can I come up there? And then when I talk to them about it, right, they kind of get offended because they feel like everybody can just pull up and like, how do I guess maybe I'm not just being sensitive about it. You know what I mean? Because it's like we're supposed to give people the word, yeah, but everybody just can't pull up. So what you got?
No, brother, everybody can't just pull up. First of all, we had a situation where everybody can pull up for 13 years. I feel absolutely no kind of way about having a situation where no, you got to check in. You can't just pull in. You got to check in. You know, we don't feel bad about that. We have done that over and over and over again, and a lot of times you realize that people didn't know what they were getting themselves into, and they dealt with some things out of order, and then Yahweh reach out and touch them, and they don't understand why. So sometimes you have to protect people from themselves because they don't know the level of what it is. Miriam and Aaron just thought, hey, I'm dealing with my brother. So they ran off at the mouth about Moshe, and Yahweh swiftly, come out, you three. Now, they thought it was just, you know, so this wasn't the first time. She done been talking. But she done got to that point, Yahweh like, we done with this. Now come on out. Let's have this conversation. Moshe didn't go tell. We don't know if Moshe heard it or not. He wasn't a part of that. But then now you have people, and I've seen people, they don't, when they don't understand what they're dealing with, they come with the same mindset of Sunday morning. So they think if they have on a nice outfit that they are ready for the festivity. We had somebody where a brother, and he was a very wild brother to start with, but he invited his mama to one of the holy days, and we let the mama come. By the time she put that one big foot in the door, she had already insulted 3 people. And I'm talking about that size 15 had not even made it all the way in the door. The heel was still outside. I was like, now see, what is this? Automatic. So now, the people who have actually labored to put things together, now those people automatically offended. They done got offended just like that, and they've been working. This person come in the door at the last minute, right when they pulling out the biscuits. Right, them garlic butter ones. Them garlic butter ones. Right? So right when they pull out them garlic butter biscuits, here they come and insulting before both feet get in the door. Already insulting. No, man, we can't just keep doing that. And then, when Yahweh deal with them people, they're not going to understand what it was. It's like somebody who goes to a part of town and they don't understand this gang activity. And they put on a fresh St. Louis Cardinals jersey with the hat. Poor fella. Then he tilted it to the side. You don't tilt the hat to this side on this side of town. See, you don't understand. In certain hoods, you can't turn your hat a certain way. Now see, here it is. You know, when you invite somebody to that neighborhood, and if you don't tell them, hey, well, I know you told me red was your favorite color, but what I'm telling you, don't wear your favorite color. Don't wear your favorite. It won't go good for you. All right. Oh, and I know you like to have your hat lean to the side on the left. I'm telling you, don't wear no hat. I'm telling you, don't wear no. Just leave the hat at home. Don't lean nothing, because you might not make it back out of here. Now, if you know that these are the stipulations in your neighborhood, and you invite somebody and they don't make it home, you got to ask yourself, wait a minute, how much of that lies on me? That I invited this person. Now, we got a situation where, hey, we just regular people who happen to know something. The problem is, we invite the angel to come in and stand at the door. Now, when they walk in insulting and then get dealt with, they're not understanding what that is. So what you do is you slow that down a little bit. No. Why don't you go watch some classes? Why don't you do this? Then we'll have a few conversations. Blah blah blah. Let's do this in stages. That's how you try to save somebody from themselves. All right. Our next question says, what constitutes the validity of a marriage? All right. First of all, what was the name of that show? The name of that class? Am I married or not? So you might want to look for that whole class right there. But there was some specific things. It says, I was young and new in the word and got in a relationship. The two of those things don't go well with each other. I tell you, this is so many crash and burns right here that is happening. I was new in a relationship. I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? And sometimes the tail be shaking too much, all right? When you just bright-eyed this is the beginning of about 50 emails that I've read, at least 50, all right? I was young and new in the word and got in a relationship. You know, I've heard people got in a relationship, they was young and new in the word, it all started out the same way. Young, new in the word, in a relationship. Some of them got in a relationship with somebody, and the person was Hebrew to start out with. By the middle of the relationship, the person was Muslim. Again. I said, whoa, again? They was Muslim before? Wait a minute. Young, new, and in a relationship. Didn't really deal with. They was already Muslim before. So, what did they do? Pretend Hebrew, because you know there's a lot of alike customs in Hebrew. You got to be careful. A lot of times people are presenting themselves as Hebrew, and you look at that, even their name is Muslim. They are actually Muslim pretending to be Hebrew. So then you get into these relationships, and then they go back to what they were. Now, they still got a kufi on, but they saying something else. They saying something else. Wait, what is that? That's not, I don't remember this, brother. Oh, okay. And see, you got a lot of people who already have that in their history, and it's there because you have a lot of jail Muslims.
Yeah.
You know, brothers who became Muslim, you know, when they got in jail, they realized that the Muslim is a strength and a force to be reckoned with, and that'll keep you from getting beat up by the gangs. So now you got a brother who was Christian going in, but oh man, he know all about all kinds of stuff. He praying 5 times a day until he get out. Then he go back to you know what he know. Now you got that kind of confusion. Now you see somebody, y'all enter into a relationship, but they already had this confusion floating around in there. Now you jump in a relationship with a confused individual, and their confusion go the other way. Now here you go. You didn't watch this person walk long enough to try to figure out which way are they walking. Okay. All right. Now it says I was young, new in the word, got into a relationship with now the son's dad, and was in fornication after we was instructed to get married or risk being put out at the time. So basically, it says I did think that we loved each other, so we decided to do so. So in other words, you know, the congregation said if they don't marry, they gotta go. We was brought before the congregation and asked if we were married, and we said yes. Granted, we never exchanged vows or had a license by the state, but we did agree. We found out I was pregnant, so there was definitely a marriage somewhere.
Yeah.
There was
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
somebody got marred.
Yeah.
There was definitely some. You might not exchange vows, but you exchanged something.
Yeah.
There was an exchange happened there. I was pregnant. Relationship became very toxic. I go back to young, new in the word, and in a relationship. It turns toxic. Yeah, I understand. Verbal, physical, cheating, loss of home, blah, blah, blah. I went into depression, and this is the part right here that really, really gets me. He sought counseling that was faulty, basically giving him a pass as long as it was a prostitute. Hey, man, let me tell you something. No. We got to get into something because I done heard this damn doctrine, and I know exactly where it come from because I was in the same place where this foolishness was said. So the fact that this foolishness is still eating people alive 20-something years later is because the same foolish individuals are still floating around them same dead halls saying this. Let's pause for a second. Let's go to Genesis 38. I am so sick of this mess where somehow brothers get a pass if it's a prostitute. Who in the hell?
Oh, I knew it was going here. Yeah, I knew it.
Brothers get a pass, and I know I've heard. If I never got this email, I'm telling you, I know the hall that I heard it on. I know where I was standing when I first heard it. And when you young, new in the word, and here comes some person who sounds very eloquent, and they're saying it like they are very sure about it. I didn't pay attention. They had a lot of change in their pocket. That's why they knew all those things about prostitutes. I said, well, I'll be damned. Look at here.
They had a roll of coins.
Oh, they had a roll of coins. So why you always got those coins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to keep these coins.
You never go to the laundry, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Never
Ain't washed shirt in months.
Ain't washed.
But keep those coins. All right. So it's going somewhere. All right. So Genesis 38. Let's start. Let's see. Start at verse 1.
And it came to pass at that time that Yehudah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Yehudah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her.
All right, so Judah saw the Canaanite woman that he liked and went in unto her. All right, so that is this Judah and the Canaanite. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And she conceived and bare a son. And he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son. And she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chizib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh slew him.
Now, was wicked. Mm-hmm. But you see now, Tamar is about to get the blame for the wickedness. Was wicked. Mm-hmm. Not Tamar. Go ahead.
And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto your brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to your brother.
This is custom. See, we talk all of that mess, but we have an issue. If we go by custom, this is how this is supposed to go. But let me tell you something. We have all kind of things to say about this woman here.
She just working the family. Mm-hmm. Look at that. She don't work the family. She don't work one brother to death. And she on the other one.
Oh.
Black widow.
Go ahead.
And Onan knew that the seed should not be his.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give his seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased Yahweh. Wherefore he slew him also.
So now you got 2 sons dead. Now, in them same halls while I'm hearing this prostitute teaching is where these brothers say, oh, it's better to spill your seed in the belly of a whore than to cast it on the ground. These same brothers, this is where they get, I was in them same dark halls where them lies was being told. So now they have made this transaction here. Now, for some reason, it's looked at as it's holy. This is holy. Make sure you don't get those two mixed up. There's holy, and then there's holy. All right? We think that if we read something in the Bible, it is holy and it is okay. Okay.
A question though, Elder. If that's the case, he was trying to treat her as a harlot, spilled it on the ground. Yahweh was upset and slew him.
Understand what the purpose was. The purpose. See, you can't ignore the purpose of something. The purpose was go in unto your brother's wife, marry her, and raise up seed. Okay. He did all of
the
transaction.
The final.
But he hid the receipt.
Yeah.
All right, he threw the receipt on the ground.
So he treated her as a harlot.
Hey, it was the only reason he was supposed to be in there.
Right.
Okay. So this is how he got. It wasn't like she said, you know what, you so nice, you so debonair. Won't you come in here? That is not what happened.
Right.
So he got a free lane. All right. He drove. You know them people that drive on the emergency lane. They just go right up there. Yeah. Everybody else waiting in line. You know what I'm saying?
It's free. Yeah.
And they ain't gonna but yo. Okay. So he went right up that emergency lane, and then wouldn't get off on the exit. Okay. Go ahead.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at your father's house till Shelah my son be grown.
You gotta understand what kind of request this is that you ask this of a woman. Now go and be a widow at your father's house. Go back home to your dad and sit there and wait for my next son to be grown. That's a hell of a request. Keep reading.
For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brother did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hira and Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, your father-in-law goes up to Timnath to shear his sheep.
All right, now she knows something about him. Said he a little sad. And he going to see his friend. She said, I think I know what he's looking for. Now, how she know that? They didn't have Facebook. He didn't put on Instagram alone looking for companionship. But somebody knew something. Go ahead.
And she put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife.
Right. Now she has done her part. All right. So even the first part of this is where she was supposed to receive seed from the second son. All right? So already you have that taken out of context. So now everybody is saying, yeah, now go and do this with the whore. Because they're not understanding what's happening here. They didn't even understand the purpose. All right? Keep reading.
When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot. because she had covered her face.
Uh-huh.
And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray you, let me come in unto you.
Now, because it's Judah and everybody claim they Judah, all right? We got 12 tribes of Judah. Everybody think they Judah. So now, Judah here is trying to buy himself some companionship. Now, all of a sudden, everybody has made this righteous. No, the hell it ain't. And then they out telling other people, well, it's okay for a brother as long as the woman is a woman about town. Ah, okay. Go ahead.
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What will you give me, that you may come in unto me? And he said, I will send you a kid from the flock. And she said, Will you give me a pledge till you send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give you? And she said, Your signet and your bracelets and your staff that is in your hand. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him.
Uh-huh.
And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Yehudah sent the kid from the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And he said, There was no harlot in this place.
Right. She wasn't after but one transaction. So even if somebody else would have came up, the price was going to be too high. Nope. One individual that I'm sitting here waiting for. Go ahead.
And he returned to Yehudah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place.
Now, because this is openly just being talked about, all of a sudden now people are out teaching that this is a regular thing and it is acceptable. This is why my elder used to say, be careful how you hear what you hear. Go ahead.
So when your heart fixed on certain things, and that's the way that you are, you look for these so-called loopholes that's not loopholes.
Of course
but you
you do.
look for those things, and then you get people that come and ask questions looking for that same loophole, and that person, they go to those person, they're attracted to that person that got that kind of answer. They don't want the real answer.
Right. They won't go ask the elder in the office. They gonna ask the dude in the back with the Colt 45. See, they want to ask that guy with that malt liquor in the paper sack. Wait a minute, why you ain't going there and knock on that door and ask that man over there? Why you asking that guy who in the alley? Because that's the answer you wanted. You were scared about the answer you were going to get if you knock on that door. Where he was going to say, no, don't do that, and that's going to cause some fun not to be had. Go ahead.
And verse 23, and Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and you had not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, had played the harlot. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt.
Now, you see how the level, now, it's amazing how it's completely okay for the man to be a man whore. It's okay for him to enter into the transaction. But you see how they ready to set her on fire? You know, she didn't whore herself. But you know that he didn't propose but one fire.
Yep.
There was not two fires. And this is the problem with people. It's one set of rules when it's got something to do with them. It's a different set of rules when it's got something to do with everybody else. Oh, he said, get the lighter fluid. Let's light up this grill. There's some whores in this house. If you see them, point them out. Okay, go ahead.
When she was brought forward, she said to her father-in-law, saying, by the man who these are, am I with child?
Uh-huh. Now, wait a minute. Where that 5? What a 5? Now, here's the interesting part. Now, you got these people with the twisted teaching. Now, somehow it was okay for him, but she's about to get burnt in the fire. Now, wait a minute. Now he's about to get brought forth. Where is the fire? Now, what I don't understand is how at the end of this, you still make it okay for the man to go in unto the whore. Keep reading.
And she said, discern, I pray you, whose are these, the signet and the bracelet and the staff? And Judah acknowledged them and said, she had been more righteous than I.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait, whoa. She has been more righteous than I. Whoa. She played the whore, but she has been more righteous than I. Why? Because he didn't abide by the covenant that he's supposed to be operating by. He know that boy was grown and he didn't send that boy. See, somehow when they teaching in them back halls, they don't get all of the other details. They just get part of this.
You know, Judah went into a whore. That's why I be riding down Metropolitan. You know what I'm saying? Late at night, I slow down. You know, right when I get by Cleveland. Yeah, because Judah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Right. That's the game we playing right now with that. Go ahead, mother. You got something?
I just wanted to say, there's so many references in Scripture against whoredom and prostitution and not letting anyone in the land be a prostitute unless the land fall into wickedness and, the whole thing becomes corrupt and evil. I don't know how you can justify something where the book speaks against it explicitly.
By that time, that book over on the other side of the room. We read enough to get the party started.
Yeah.
Hey, we ain't finished that chapter. We ain't finished that chapter. That chapter didn't get read till 3 months later. Oh, you pregnant? Thou shalt not. I didn't even read that. I didn't even think that. I ain't even know that was there. Right. Okay. All right.
Elder, one more thing. I think somewhere in this book it says the woman don't defile a man, but the man defiles the woman when he goes into her.
Right.
So when she put on this because she knew she was operating in a deal in which she made with the father. So she knew she wasn't operating as a whore because just like you said, if anybody else would have came, the price would have been way too high.
Right. She wasn't gonna do it.
And
She
knew
know
that.
she's only protected in this one lane.
Yeah.
See, this is where people take that out, because now you got women whores
Who said, well, he wasn't, I had told him to come over here on Tuesday. He didn't come over here, so Wednesday I put on my whole outfit. And I sat in the way about 10 and a half.
No, John, that's not what's happening. She got one lane that she can do this and not get punished. One lane, and that's with that one man, because he is breaking that covenant. That's it. And she still has to deal with that man.
Yep.
We think that we can go outside of it, deal with somebody else, and still think that we You dealing with that incorrectly. See? So it's amazing how we'll take that and then use that to, okay, this is what I want to do. So then now we're okaying some of this behavior. And this is problematic. This man says, she has been more righteous than I. Wait a minute. If she is more righteous than he, how is the man still given a pass to keep getting harlots? Right. Oh yeah, bro. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 21.
Okay.
Start at verse 1. Leviticus 21 and start at verse 1.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Speak unto the priests of the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister, a virgin, that is near unto him, which has no husband. For her may he be defiled. But he shall not be defiled, but he shall not defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself.
All right, so then there's certain areas where this is allowed, but it has to be near kins. Go ahead.
They shall not make baldness upon their heads, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. They shall be holy unto their Elohim, and not profane the name of their Elohim. For the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and the bread of their Elohim they do offer. Therefore they shall be holy. They shall not take a wife that is a whore, or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is holy unto his Elohim.
They automatically assume if she's put away, there was something wrong with her. So then, here we go. He shall not take a wife that is a whore. Yet somehow, Judah has been given this pass, and now everybody think they're Judah now. So now, all of a sudden, now that there's this invisible hall pass that's been given. Go ahead.
You shall sanctify him, therefore, for he offered the bread of your Elohim. He shall be holy unto you, for I, Yahweh, which sanctify you, am holy. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profanes her father. She shall be burnt with fire. And he that is the high priest among his brothers, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head.
He shall not uncover his head. His head is always covered. Yet you got people walking around with all of these little outfits on, dressed like they supposed to be priests, but they just as bald. They ain't got nothing on their head, and then we'll come up to everybody else talking about why you prophesying with your head cut. Got a fringe on, was supposed to remind you to keep the law. Got on an outfit that's supposed to be a priest outfit, but then don't have a head covering on. Even the one who's supposed to be the chief leader. Go ahead.
Nor rend his clothes. Verse 11. Neither shall he go in to any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother. Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his Elohim, for the crown of the anointing oil of his Elohim is upon him. I am Yahweh. And he shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman, or profane, or an harlot, these shall he not take. But he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife.
He shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. Now, you got people that want to dance in and out of this. Now, they claim that they part of this tribe or that tribe. But then when it's time for them to pick a wife, wait a minute, the wife ain't in the same tribe you in. Now, how you know all this stuff about your tribe, but that woman ain't in it? Here we go. So now you got the ability to go all over town as long as it's a prostitute. Then you got a wife who not even in the same tribe. Now, all of a sudden, wait a minute, there are all these false liberties that are given. And to this day, some of them still ready to set the woman on fire. But they out time, they cruise down Metropolitan late at night. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 13. Read verse 4.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all. Not in part, not in a few things, but in all. Keep reading.
And the bed undefiled.
The marriage bed is honorable and undefiled. Keep reading.
But whoremongers.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you got man whores, you got woman whores.
Mm-hmm.
See, some people, when they said they saw whoremongers, they only saw they only see women when they see whoremongers. Yeah, you see, Keisha, what it say here? See, no whores are gonna be in the kingdom. Wait a minute. What about you man whores? Wait a minute, you ain't made no covenant with nothing. You just round town checking oil. Wait a minute. That ain't gonna work. You know how you check oil, you wipe it off one time, put it back in there. But you in the kingdom? Something ain't right about that. Something ain't right about that. Keep reading.
And idolaters, Elohim will judge.
Okay. Marriage is honorable in all, the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers, Elohim will judge. Go to Revelation chapter 22. Because I'm trying to figure out, how is it okay for the man, it's okay as long as he's with a prostitute, but all the whoremongers going to end up in the lake of fire? How it says, hey, can a man take fire in his bosom and not be burned? So you lay down with fire, but you didn't get burned though. Go ahead, bro.
I got a question for you. What is a whoremonger? Somebody who got wouldn't that be the man? We got the harlot. We know what it says whoremonger. A whoremonger is one who has the harlots, man. I'm just that's the man.
Sometimes you got to look down and look up at the same time. You got
Revelation 22.
Go ahead, bro.
Revelation 22. Where you at? Where we at? Where you want to start?
I'll start verse 15.
For without are dogs.
Without is outside. Go ahead.
And sorcerers.
Uh-huh.
And whoremongers.
Who out there?
Whoremongers.
For outside are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers. You know, when you get to researching these words, you get to find prostitutes. So how let's look up whoremonger and hey man, y'all not gonna like this.
Whoremonger.
The word for whoremonger is pornos.
Yeah. G4205.
G4205. Pornos.
Pornos. Mm-hmm.
It says to sell akin to the base, a male prostitute.
So,
That is a libertine fornicator whoremonger.
yeah.
Don't get quiet now. Don't get quiet now. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
All right, wait a minute. No. See, we're always trying to throw something on one side of the room.
Yeah.
We're always trying to throw something on us, now throw it back. See, one person don't get to serve all the time. Somebody else got to serve. Come on now, hit it back on the other side. Okay, so then let's read. Now we know the definition. Let's read that again. Read it.
For without are dogs.
Dog. Wait a minute. Okay, all right. When a man treat a woman really bad, what's she calling?
One of them dogs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
And sorcerers.
Uh huh.
And whoremongers.
Okay.
And murderers.
Uh huh.
and idolaters.
So the whoremongers, the man whores.
Man whores.
The man whores. Let's just go ahead and say, because I don't like whoremongers. Let's say it what it is. The man whores.
Man whores.
Gonna be in the same lake of fire with murderers and idolaters and liars. That's where the man whore is going. Oh, wait a minute now. Yahweh did something. He said, wait a minute. Now the marriage bed is undefiled. It's honorable and all. But you man whores, you're going to be thrown in the lake of fire. Oh, okay. And people like to compare what they got and try to make it the same as what somebody else doing. No. Those covenants over there, those whores over there, do not try to make your whores equal to covenanted relationships. Okay, keep reading.
I, Yahshua, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
All right. For without are dogs and sorcerers. Okay. Now let's get back to where we were. I couldn't let that one little part about the it was okay as long as the woman was a prostitute, because I heard that early in my walk. I mean, very, very early. And some people got destroyed by that teaching. So I know where it came from. All right. He eventually told me he wanted to put me away. Wanted to be with somebody else. This is after we moved with our camp at the time to South Carolina. I told him people don't go there. I told him not to do it. I told him, I said, look, hey, this ain't gonna work out good for y'all. I said, there's some people, there's some folk I wouldn't follow to the 7-Eleven. I knew they open all night.
24 hours.
They open 24 hours. I wouldn't go get a slushie, but with them. And you talking about moving out? Now, a lot of those people won't talk to me no more because, I said that beforehand and they had a problem with me. He ended up leaving, as should everybody. I was told I was free from that bond. This is another thing. Then within that same situation, I've heard where people make vows, and then the head supreme comforter pillowcase leader was able to disannul these vows at any point. Not that there had some, real validity or problem in the situation. One person made a vow that they're gonna be celibate, they're gonna be a eunuch. Next thing you know, they married with 5 kids. Okay. But apparently the supreme overlord comforter pillowcase told them it was okay. You just gotta see if Yahweh gonna accept that. That's the next question. Let's see if Yahweh gonna accept the ruling from the supreme overlord pillowcase, comforter, blanket, snuggly, whatever the hell he's supposed to be. Let's see if Yahweh accept that. That's what the question is. I'm sorry, bro. Where we at? Where we at? Okay. Let me go. I lost my place. Okay. Let me see. I was told I was free from that bond. Blah blah blah. I left the camp due to other reasons, as well you should. We got back in touch and we chose to co-parent when my son was 2. Even though he was in and out of my son's life, I still encouraged him to have a relationship. Very good. I know now that the priest that we was under had a lot of influence and caused issues. Yes. But we had to be accountable for ourselves. I understand that. We both moved on. I met my husband 2 years, and 2 years later got married, and we have another son together. They know each other. He has thanked my husband for being there for my son when he couldn't, and apologized to me on multiple occasions. We have been there for him in his relationships, but every now and again it is brought up that I am in adultery and I am making him an adulterer. Oh, how I love how the men play the game. Oh, it is so convenient. you're going to find that it's always going to be this, and pay close attention. When they life working out, you don't really get a whole lot of situations. But when the thing don't work out, with Sheila Barnesville down the street, all of a sudden adultery has popped up again. You're gonna have to get some standing in there. That once you get on the path, you gotta stop looking in that rearview mirror, because there's a lot of zombies in there. All right. So let me explain. What's a zombie? A zombie is half dead. All right. So we got them situations that we done had. And you keep looking in the mirror, you say, damn, there go Tyrone. Look, you gotta stop looking in that mirror. You gotta stop looking in that mirror. You gotta stop looking in that mirror. And one thing you have to learn is say right at the bottom, objects are closer.
Yeah.
Hey, you stop looking in that rearview mirror. That rearview mirror gonna make you gonna swerve when you shouldn't swerve. So be careful about gazing in that rearview mirror. Let's say, and I notice that every time there is connection with brothers from past camp, this situation pops up again. But now it started to affect the offspring. I just wanted to know if this was dealt with correctly. Was a formal ending necessary, meaning a bill of divorce, and or him telling me he put me away, plus his actions, was that the bill? Everyone involved is baptized, and above all things, I want us to be right standing with Yah. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 5. First of all, thank you for the question. Because one of the things, and I know sometimes we want to ask private questions, but when you ask a private question, the only person that grows from it is you. If you allow other people to grow from your situation, now you got to understand something. Now you have actually offered up a spiritual sacrifice unto your Elohim. Now somebody else gets to grow because of that. Now, instead of just you getting an answer, you have gotten 2 pluses. See, we gotta learn how to think. You gotta figure out. I mean, in any other situation, we try to figure out. What's the percentage if I buy this CD and I put this money in the bank? What will be my percentage of return? All right, consider something. You ask a private a question. Somebody only answers you. What do you think your rate of return gonna be? Versus you ask a question and other people get to grow from the answer, your rate of return is going to be higher. Consider what you're trying to put in your account. Okay? Luke chapter 5. And start at verse 17.
And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee, and Judea, and Jerusalem, and the power of the Adonai was present to heal them. And behold, men brought in a bed a man which was taken with a palsy, and they sought means to bring him in, and lay him before him. And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went upon the housetop and let him down through the tilling with his couch into the midst before Yahshua. And when they saw their faith, he said unto him, Man, your sins are forgiven you. And the scribes and the Pharisees began to reason, saying, Who is this which speaks blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but Elohim alone? Mm-hmm. But when Yahshua perceived their thoughts, he answering said unto them, What reason you in your hearts?
Now, why did we read this? The question was, did she need an actual physical bill of divorcement? Or was the act of stepping away and telling her, listen, Yahshua perceived their thoughts and said, why reason you in your heart? A lot of times when we start reading things about our heart and we start talking about here, no. When he talking about your heart, he talking about this. Okay? When he said, I see that thing is in your heart. I'm telling you like my elder told me, what your heart do is pump blood. Okay? That's what this do. See, when he's talking about your heart, he's talking about the spirit of you that resides here. This is what you're pondering with. So you're going to start seeing certain words mentioned together. Thoughts and heart. And for that reason, this is why some people don't understand why some transgression may be looked at way worse to somebody because they said, well, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. No. Thoughts and heart. No. That was in your heart. He said, wait. He perceived their thoughts and said, why reason you in your hearts? So when this individual has gone about and put forth those things, what was in his heart was shown by his actions. Now, does this sister have to sit there and wait on the corner for the rest of her life because he didn't bring the piece of paper? So then we have to consider some things. The angel told Sarah, why you laugh? She said, I didn't laugh. He said, but you did. Now you laughed in here. I heard it. Okay, let's go to Romans chapter 2. Romans chapter 2. And started at verse 12.
For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before Elohim, but the doers of the law shall be justified. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Wait a minute. So the Gentiles don't have the law. They were not given the law. But when they do by nature the things contained in the law, they are a law unto themselves. Verse 15, which show the work of the law written in their hearts. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. They have evidence of this because of how they operate. Even though they were not given the law, they don't have a physical table of the law, but because it's in here, they now have a tangible something. So this is why an action speaks very loudly, because somebody can say, no. That action showed what was in your heart. Go ahead.
In the day when Elohim shall judge the secrets of men by Yahshua Mashiach according to my gospel.
In the day when Elohim shall judge the secrets of men, we have to understand that those things are only secret unto us. They're not secret to him. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 8. The two things that you're going to keep seeing connected to one another. Hebrews chapter 8 and start at verse 7.
For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Adonai, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Adonai. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Adonai. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts.
You see how the mind and the heart directly connected? And he keeps going through it. The mind, the heart. The mind, the heart. The mind. Why do you think everybody want to ask you, what you thinking about? They want to know what's in your heart. Why you sitting over there so quiet? What you doing? Why you keep asking me what I'm doing? I ain't doing nothing. Well, what you think? Why you keep asking me what I'm thinking? Because they want to know what's in your heart. Go ahead.
And I will be to them an Elohim, and they shall be to me a people.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Adonai. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. All
right. That's as far as I want to go right there. And Hebrews chapter 10 and 16 says the same thing. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. Directly another connection between the heart and the mind. So understand that there are things that we can ponder on, and he's going to then say, all right, this is what you were intending to do with that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 24. Now, we all have thoughts now, and we can't always, orchestrate or control every thought. Sometimes thoughts come out of the left field. And you be sitting there in right field saying, who threw this? The home plate that way. That ball came from over here. Who threw it?
Right.
This ball came out the stands. Y'all we can't play that way. Okay. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 24. Let's start this at verse 1.
When a man has taken a wife and married her, and it comes to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
Hold on. So he done got another relationship, and then she done got a relationship, but then, sometimes after he be around some other people, he say, you know what, you committing adultery and you making me commit adultery. Wait a minute. What we doing? See, sometimes when we want to deal with half of this word, but you got to keep reading. Wait a minute. So now 1 minute we walked away, left something, and now we come back to it, and we still want to call it ours. Mm-hmm. We still want to call it ours. Now we know good and well. I don't care if the car break down. You leave that car on Covenant Highway. We look back at it because we know. I hope they're gonna be here.
Yeah, you bet.
Got the mighty know. I know the alternator messed up, and I know the alignment off, and that trunk don't lock right. But you know what? I done got used to it.
Yeah, man.
That mine right there. Man, I hope this here when I get back. See, you can't just leave that. Leave it, unattended. You ain't gonna take care of it. You ain't gonna do nothing to uphold it, but you still want to count that as yoin. It's yoin. We got a problem here. Then after deserting it, then we're gonna come back and say, well, you know what, this mine. Now, this is the situation that Tamar was put in. She was just set on the shelf but then all of the requirements were still held against her. Go ahead.
Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. For that is an abomination before Yahweh. And you should not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance.
So, if there is a situation of separation and then they return, he said, now the whole land defiled now. Wait a minute. So it's not just a defiled situation between these individuals. Now the land has now been defiled. Now we're dealing with something altogether different now. See, now if you want to defile your house, that's between you and your house. But now you talking about defiling my house, we got a problem. Yeah. Now we got to have a conversation. This is that part where people say, this is that part where Israel come out of that, you know, I just want to be neutral and I don't want to be in nobody's business. This is that part where they be like, hey, bro, let me talk to y'all for a second. Hey, man, what y'all doing? I thought this was over. But then I noticed you back over here after you were down now. What y'all doing? Well, I tell you what, though. Y'all gonna have to do that somewhere else. Look, I can't control what y'all doing, but I'm telling you what, y'all ain't gonna do it here. Because now it's a situation where now the land is going to be defiled. Not you defiled. Now all of us gonna wear it because of that. No. Y'all gotta go. Go ahead.
You know what we say the most though? They ain't got nothing to do with you. Stay out of our business.
Yep. It's so funny how we wanna. Certain things ain't our business, and other stuff we damn near climbing in the window. We standing on top of the bushes. Them bushes ain't made for nobody to be standing on. We done ruined somebody's whole garden. Standing up there trying to peek, but then other things,
It's not my business. I stay out of grown folk business, child.
no, you still out of grown folk business sometimes. Cause that other stuff you was in, that was grown folk business, and you was all in that. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, and let's start at verse 31.
It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery.
This is what the original thing was that was said, that you're committing fornication and causing the other individual to commit fornication. So a lot of times, you know, there's a part where part of this comes from here, part of this comes from the other place, so then you kind of have to go into it so you can figure out which parts are coming from where. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced commits adultery.
Now, this is where this is coming from. Let's go to Matthew chapter 19. Matthew 19, and let's start at verse 1.
And it came to pass that when Yahshua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
For every cause. Now we have a different level of question here. Go ahead.
And he answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And he said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more two, but one flesh.
That means they're supposed to join with one another in heart. But see, we got our own mind. See? And this is what keeps us from becoming one. See? We like to point here, but this ain't what's keeping us from becoming one. This is what's keeping us from becoming one.
Well, I have my own thoughts about that. And see, the way I see that is this.
Right. Go ahead.
What therefore Elohim had joined together, let no man put asunder.
Now, the question is, did Elohim put these things together? See, now we got some serious questions. Cause Mama Nim had said, and then my friend Nim had said, but there was something in you that said,
Run now.
go ahead.
They said unto him, why did Moshe then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moshe, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so.
It was not something that he wanted to deal with anyway. But he said, hold on now. So that there is peace. Y'all don't need to be in the same house with somebody with that kind of aggression. So with certain things, he said, look, I allow this. Because it says Elohim has called us to peace. It says live peaceably as much as possible with all men. As much as lies in you. Sometimes the only way you can have peace with somebody is to get the hell away from them. That don't mean you don't have love for the individual. It just means I can't have no peace with you. Go ahead.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another one, commits adultery. And whosoever marries her, which is put away, does commit adultery.
Now, we have this, of course, this fornication that we like to deal with. We only deal with that in one instance. Yahweh said the children of Israel committed fornication when we started worshiping these other gods. He said, you've laid down with many lovers. Mm-hmm. He said, they say, if a woman leave a man and go somewhere else, shall he return back to that land? That land is greatly polluted because somebody else been planting in there. He said, you left me and went to many lovers and still return unto me. Go ahead.
His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive the same, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs, which were some born from their mother's womb.
From their mother's womb, they never desired the company of a woman. Now, they are born that way. See, what happened with some folk, they would hang around some other people.
And they say, you know what, this seems honorable. I like how this man has dedicated himself and he said he is not going to be with a woman. This is honorable. So you know what? I'm going to do it.
Did Yahweh call you for that? Now you're going to know in a minute because you felt like that at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. I want to tell you, Thursday cometh. Now let's see how you feel on Thursday because you were feeling good and froggy on Tuesday. But if that ain't given to you, we're going to know Thursday afternoon. Go ahead.
And there are some eunuchs, which were made eunuchs of men.
And you don't want to be that kind. So if they were made eunuchs for men, then they had articles removed. You don't be that kind. You don't know nobody want to be there. How you think what they would do when they have men attendants in a castle where the king has a harem? This man got 50 or 60 wives, but he got men servants in that house. You don't think he just let the man servants just mingle around and his frequency can't be that high with the 50, 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 with the 50. So we got 50. We just go one per day. We got 2 months with the 50, with the 50. And you think your dude just gonna be running around here? I was just fixing the drapes. The hell you are?
Yeah.
You ain't fixing no drapes in there. So those men were made eunuchs the real bad way. Okay? There's certain things that we read that you don't know how horrible it is because you just read right past it. It's absolutely horrible. Go ahead.
And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake.
They have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom's sake. They have made a vow. Okay, go ahead.
He that is able to receive it, let him receive it.
All right. Let's see. Where are we going to go? Go to John chapter 8. John chapter 8, start at verse 1.
Yahshua went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him. And he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and the Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery, in the very act.
She was taken in adultery in the very act. Now, here comes a false proceeding brought forth. Now see, and this is the situation. So basically, if you go back to this question, they were brought before the congregation. Are you married or not? And they made them force and say, we married. We's married. We's marred. Okay? Right. Here we go right here. Yahshua say, sometimes we think that what we go through is so different than what, other individuals have gone through. Just take it, turn it a little degrees, and you have your exact situation right here. I don't understand why that is so difficult for us to do. It's right here. Go ahead.
Now Moshe in the law commanded us that such should be stoned.
Right. Now, wait a minute. Now, the law says it should be stoned. So it should be some stoning right now. Now, here's the problem. It's so funny because we said, well, this person committed adultery. They need to be stoned. Mm-hmm. All right. So they commit, when they commit that? Last Tuesday. All right. Well, shoot, let's hold them accountable for what they did last Tuesday. What you did last Tuesday? Huh? No. Let's talk about. So we're gonna kill them for what they did Tuesday. Mm-hmm. All right, cause they got to go away from here. They got to go away from here. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna talk about your last Tuesday. What happened with you last Tuesday?
Nothing.
Huh?
I was reading a song.
No. Let's deal with your last Tuesday. Now we're gonna go ahead and kill them for what they did last Tuesday. But let's talk about your last Tuesday. Oh, now all of a sudden we don't want to talk. Now we don't want to talk. Why we not talking? I thought we were talking about I thought the whole subject was last Tuesdays. I thought we were talking about all the Tuesdays. We're just going back one more Tuesday. But now we don't want to talk about that Tuesday. Just the Tuesday of this person's issue. Mm-hmm. Now why we can't talk about that other Tuesday? That one where you wasn't right. Why we can't deal with that one? Let's deal with that Tuesday. Because we're going to talk about Tuesday. It's one every week. I said, I'll be damned. I kept looking at the calendar. I said, damn, there go another one. It's another Tuesday. It wasn't just that one. It was another one. Okay, keep reading.
But what says you? This, they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Yahshua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. Mm-hmm.
So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
In other words, he said, what y'all do last Tuesday? Nah, man, let's kill her. She need to die. Each time now, you notice that the people who are getting punished are the women. I ain't seen these man whores get punished yet. So Yahshua said point blank, wait, but let's talk about last Tuesday. Go ahead.
And again he stooped down and rolled on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, being at the eldest, even unto the last. And Yahshua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. And Yahshua had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman. He said unto her, Woman, where are those your accusers? Has no man condemned you?
Right. See, now he just paused her court proceedings, and he cleared out the court. Now he go back to talking again. Go ahead.
She said, No man, and they. And Yahshua said unto her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more.
Wait a minute. I find it interesting how when it's something that we want, we go to the harshest part of the law. We don't deal with any of those things that have forgiveness, faith, liberty. We don't go to any of those things except when it's got something to do with us. Now, when it's got something to do with us,
You know what I'm saying? You're not your brother's keeper.
really? Oh, I find that interesting when it's you. But when it's your neighbor, there's a pile of stones already in your driveway. You mean you pre-gathered stones? You mean you went and got stones before we had a conversation? You already had the stone. And then it looked like you was filing them. I'm like, what is that sound? Oh, you getting them so you can skip them. You just, oh, okay. But when it's a situation where we don't come out on top, now all of a sudden we know where all the places of grace and mercy are. That's quite peculiar. It's quite peculiar. Okay. Interesting. Let's go read one more thing. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 13. Because see, part of these teachings, I watched a lot of these teachings happen in the back alley where there's a lot of malt liquor. And, some of those, some of them rabbit cigarettes, some of the cigarettes with no filters.
Yeah.
There was a lot of there was a lot of that going on when I heard some of these doctrines take hold, and they just kept growing. A lot of that rabbit tobacco and well, you know what? I can't say. All I can say is it was a crunched up bag. It was brown. It was brown. But it was about a year long, so I have a suspicion
Right.
that it was a Colt 44 plus 1. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, so Zechariah chapter 13, let's start at verse 7.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, says Yahweh of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn my hand upon the little ones.
Now, once the shepherd of that flock was smitten, there was nobody to clean up all of those false doctrines, so they multiplied and they were magnified. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that in the land, says Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
What do you think is happening to those people after the shepherd was smitten? 2/3 of the individuals are being cut off from the word because of all the persecution that comes from the false teaching. See, there's a part where there's a near prophecy and there's a far prophecy. Some of that, we end up living out parts of it right in front of our face. Go ahead.
And I will bring the third part through the fire.
The question is, are you going to come through that fire? The question is, are you going to let whatever fall you got in your rearview mirror, whatever fall you got in your past, are you going to let it cause you to lay down and die? Or are you going to walk through that fire? Are you going to sit there and cry and say, please put out this fire? Or are you going to walk through it? What you going to do? It ain't a bright person that sit there and go to the lake of fire and say, are y'all going to put this out? Say one thing, you know, my grandma used to say, they said some people get to live long on the earth, baby. I said, well, why? He said, because my grandma said, because God don't want them and the devil don't either.
Ooh.
I said, so they just get a free pass. They just get roam the earth, baby. They just get to roam around there. They ain't good, they ain't bad, they just something. Don't nobody want them. Just let them keep living. Okay. All right. It says, I'm going to bring that third part through the fire and I will refine them. Some of the things that we think is going to kill us, that's your refining. How do you think you burn off impurities? Impurities don't get talked off. They don't get gauged. You just keep gazing at it, and they just come off. You just don't hug it off. I'm going to hug it, and the impurity going to come off. That sounds good on TV and in postcards. But in the real walk, fire is what refines you. Fire is what makes you better. Fire is what puts you in a place to be usable by your Elohim. So you can keep running from it. But you're probably going to find yourself deeper in it by attempting to run from it. Go ahead.
I will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my Elohim.
After they are refined, they will be able to honestly say, Yahweh is my Elohim. Now, we said it before, but now it's honest because we've been refined and tried like precious metals. What do you think some of these things are that we go? It sounds poetic. You got to take the poetic part and put it at 3416 Wichita Drive. It's just regular stuff that's going to refine you. It sounds poetic here. It ain't going to be poetic when it hit Covenant Highway. But it still has its purpose, and the purpose is to refine you. Now, are you going to be refined or not? That is the question. All right, I think it was one more thing that I'm going to have to push to. Maybe I'll deal with that on the Sabbath. I'll start there. All right, that's all that we're going to do for tonight. Let's leave out with the prayer. Let's rise and face the east. Abba Father, Most High Covenant Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Abba Father, we thank you for giving us another opportunity to read out of the legacy that you have left unto us. We thank you, Abba Father, for leaving a legacy unto us. For we walked away from the culture that was given unto our forefathers, and we have been greatly punished because of it. We looked unto the ways of the heathen. We peeked over the fence and saw those things and thought the grass was greener on the other side. And we began to commit spiritual fornication and adultery with the gods of the nation. tribulations. We acknowledge our sins, Abba Father, because that is something that is the most difficult for us to do. We have the biggest problem with acknowledgement. We pray, Abba Father, that you would cause these things to cease from inside of us, that we will be able to acknowledge our sins, that we can get past those things, that we can grow over them, that any of the fire that comes with it does not destroy us, but it refines us, that it makes us better, that it makes us pure, that it makes us stronger, Abba Father. We thank you for the trials and tribulations because we know that we are going to grow by them. We pray, Abba Father, that you would keep a hedge of protection round about us, round about our natural houses. And we pray, Abba Father, that you would keep a hedge of protection round about our spiritual house, that we may be able to gather together unto the shepherd's tent, that we may be able to do all these works all over again, that we may be able to please you in the things that you desire from us. We ask these prayers not only for those that just gathered with us physically, for we know, Abba Father, that we have family that are spread abroad. We pray that you would count them as even being physically here, standing amongst us. In Yahshua HaMashiach's holy and divine name we pray. Amen and hallelujah.